Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
This is one of many times where Ferris speaks directly to the viewers, called either a direct address or breaking the fourth wall. This is not common practice in films and even more rarely done successfully, as accomplished in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. John Hughes, the director, decided to acknowledge the audience further through calling attention to his choice and use of music. This effectively breaks the fourth wall in its own way, as most of the time the score is meant to be unnoticed. Hughes achieves this by confining music to physical spaces, choosing music that enhances the scene's action, and picking recognizable, pronounced songs. Foremost, Hughes makes the decision for the sound to be confined by space. The most famous example of this is the scene where Ferris calls Cameron and markedly different music plays in each room.
She's in Decatur. Unfortunately, she's not staying. Where are you?
I'm taking the day off. Now get dressed and come on over.
You can't, stupid. I'm sick.
That's all in your head. Come on over.
I feel like complete Ferris. I can't go anywhere.
I'm sorry to hear that. Now come on over here and pick me up.
The idea of music that does not play over the images but rather is affected by them is rare and calls attention to itself, and that is the point. As John Hughes says in an interview with Ditzian, to have a song work for the movie, it can't just be written apart and shoved in. It's got to come out of the action. It's got to talk about the characters, not the story. It has to augment that action. Which brings me to my next point, how well the chosen songs complement the direction of the scene. For instance, the music during Sloane's rescue from the school does this.
Symbolize the protagonist's struggle, and
Hughes draws a parallel between the nurse's message about the faked death of Sloane's grandfather and a foot soldier's urgent letter containing critical news of the world. This is far from the only time where this occurs. Arguably, the most memorable song in the movie is Yellow's Oh Yeah, playing when the audience first sees Cameron's dad's Ferrari.
The 1961 Ferrari 250 GT, California. Less than 100 were made. My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love, it is his passion.
It is his fault he didn't lock the garage.
This scene would not have had half the impact if this was the score. This genius is recognized in the article, Why John Hughes Movies Would Have Been Nothing Without Their Soundtracks, when it reads, the films of John Hughes derived much of their power from their soundtracks, more than any other filmmaker, except arguably Quentin Tarantino. Hughes understood pop's function as an emotional shortcut. Where the script was sometimes lacking, a song could fill in the gaps. Though it could be argued that Hughes did not just use music to fill in the gaps, but rather make brilliant scenes even more impactful. The soundtrack of Ferris Bueller's Day Off uses its prominence to its advantage. This is accomplished through Hughes' choice of music that is either very recognizable or very pronounced. For example, the following clip. Chances are a majority of the audience will notice this parallel between the Ferrari and a starship, due to the notoriety of the song. Not only that, but the Star Wars theme brings back the feeling of awe and admiration, fitting for the emotions Hughes is going for. Even if the songs chosen are not ones previously known, they are distinctive and striking enough to be noticed by the audience. In illustration, those who have seen the movie more than once may recall the distinct beginning notes that play when Ferris says, they bought it.
They bought it.
In short, the film's soundtrack was handpicked to emphasize certain ideas or feelings of the director's choice. Ferris Bueller's music is special. It assures that the audience is aware they are watching a film, a consciousness not usually desired in a viewership. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off does so in a way that's so masterful, it only creates more appreciation for the cult classic.